Hi everyone, Sean here for theworldcupnow.com, bringing you Barclays Fantasy Premier League tips. And this is the long-awaited double game week. And I think a lot of managers are focusing on this game week, myself included, but what I want to bring to the table is I want to bring a little bit of foresight. I don't want you to be making transfers thinking this game week only. So I've gone through, I've done an Excel sheet like I've done previously for you guys, and I'm going to go through that, and we're going to go through the double game week, but not only looking at it as this game week in terms of points, but in terms of the following game weeks coming up and how you're not to get stuck. And so game week 31 is going to be a very pivotal week for the double game week, obviously. And now the second is going to be game week 37 as well. So with that in mind, let's flip the script. We'll go through, and I've got some great tips. Also, please subscribe on the subscribe button if you have not already. If you have, I always appreciate it. Also, check out the post down below. That's where you can find the Excel sheet that I'm going to be referencing in this video. And as well, you can follow our channels on Facebook and on Twitter from the site as well. So we will flip the screen and get things moving. Okay, so we're just here on the fantasy.premierleague.com website on their fixtures page. And hopefully this double game week is not coming as a surprise to you. If you're a reader or a viewer of my blog or my channel, you'll understand that we plan for this in advance. So that way we can take advantage of it. And we're not taking a lot of point hits to do so. So that being said, if you haven't made any transfers, this video will help. Even if you have made transfers already, this will help too, because really it's not just about this game week. We don't want to just focus on taking full advantage of game week 31, but we want to come out of game week 31 knowing that on the other end, when we have to make transfers next week, we're not going to have to take a hit because we brought someone in who isn't playing on a good team, or we do have the room in case someone gets injured. There are a lot of factors in there, but you want to have that flexibility coming out of game week 31. Now, granted, this double game week offers a really big potential because there are 5 extra games, 10 teams to choose from. Normally, double game weeks, you get 1 or 2 games, so you're getting maybe 2 or 4 teams that you can choose from, and sometimes they're not always the best teams. Take, for example, the Sunderland-Man City double game week that's coming up in a few game weeks as well. So really, you want to focus on not only the during game week, but after. And what I've done, as I've done in previous videos, is create an Excel sheet, pardon me, with kind of my predictions and who would be good teams coming out of the game week. So you can see that it starts here, game week 32, and then works its way on down to game week 38. Now, I'm going to kind of just modify this because I want to bring to your attention something that you may not have thought of. And it's really kind of becomes a little bit clear when you take a look at it from this perspective. So what I'm doing here is I'm just hiding the rows so it's easier for you guys to see. But if we look at Manchester United, they haven't really been doing well in the league. They're under a lot of criticism, and they're taking a lot of heat from fantasy managers just because they're not producing a lot of points and they're just not living to expectations for their payroll, if I could be so bold. Now, with that in mind, look at their next 8 games after the double game week. You have Aston Villa, Newcastle, then you have a blank, which is unfortunate in game week 34, Everton, Norwich, Sunderland, Hull, and then ending the season off with Southampton. Now, when you look at those teams, how many of them are top table teams? 2, Everton and Southampton. Everton poses a good threat defensively, and then Southampton, same. They're only 2 top-level teams. So that's a good run-in for a fantasy perspective. And it'll be up to United to take advantage of this and probably save the rest of their season. But it's something that, if this wasn't here, you might not have thought of that, just because recent, like tabloids and headlines have been painting them in a very, very poor picture. So, that being said, if you haven't made transfers yet for your double game week, or you're like me and you're going to be waiting until Friday to make some transfers just because you don't want to get dinged by some, unnecessary training injury that just kind of, someone gets sideswiped in a tackle and they get hurt and they can't play and you've already transferred them. It's very unfortunate. So you kind of wait to the last minute. But again, if you haven't, the teams that I would look for coming out of this game week, meaning that you should bring them in because you can bring them in, you can hold them, you can get the point value, and you can get the price raises. Start by looking at City, then United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Everton, Spurs, and Southampton. Myself, for this game week, I've taken a look at getting Zabaleta from City. I already have Juan Mata, I've kept Koscielny, I have Cahill, I have Suarez, and from Everton I have Coleman, and I've brought in, for this week specifically and moving forward, Lukaku. Spurs, I don't have any coverage, and Southampton, I don't have any coverage, but I may look into that if I need to transfer some people out pending for injuries. So again, you can go through, take a look. This shows goal differential. It's got the stats on the left-hand side for each team. And then basically my prediction for whether they're going to win that game. Obviously you have blanks for certain, and then you also have double game weeks, which I've included here. But then in this one here, what I've done is I've done 2 game week 37s instead of just that because there was more teams. So you can see that where you can take advantage for some double game weeks coming into game week 37, and that'll be probably the next most pivotal game week in terms of a fantasy perspective because it's the second last game week before going into the final game week of the season. So it's going to be very important, and again, we will be focusing on that as we go through, but hopefully this Excel sheet, this post, and this video have all helped you guys to kind of formulate some transfers of who you're going to bring in. And on a side note, if you were wondering why I had the suit and tie on in the beginning, I got called out for some work, had to come back in, and I just figured I'd record the video because I want to get it done, because I'm also going out for a few pints with my mates, and we're going to talk some fantasy football about this weekend, who they brought in, as we do always, and we'll take it from there. But again, I wish you the best of luck in this double game week, and I will see you next Thursday. Thank you.